Hi there, I am Pamela Petrick, also known as the Dietless Dieting Coach, and I am a registered nurse, a certified holistic health coach, and busy women come to me when they are ready to ditch the yo-yo dieting, the constant weight regain, and the fatigue, and they are ready for natural, holistic strategies for their unique bodies so they can release the weight, keep it off, and feel light and free. And when they work with me via my Beyond the Fork Academy, we customize their journey for their own unique body. And so I am on a mission for you to find those solutions that are natural and holistic that'll work for your unique body, which is exactly why I created the Beyond the Food Weight Loss Summit, specifically designed for women over 40 who are ready to break free from the constant weight regain and nothing's working for you. This summit is different because I'm bringing together experts who will share their top strategies to help you release weight naturally without extreme diets, restrictions, or extreme workouts, and help you to achieve lasting weight loss and transform your health for good. Plus, every expert is giving you a free gift, all specifically geared for women over 40. Do you have your pen ready? It's time for our next featured expert for the Beyond the Food Weight Loss Summit, Real Solutions for Women Over 40.
Welcome to It Happened Overnight or Did It? I am super excited to join you today and just wanted to say this session is going to be about 30 minutes long. Before it ends, you are going to gain some clarity about what is happening during menopause, understand how to support your body during those changes, and learn how easy it is to reduce the weight gain that is associated with menopause. So let's get to it. My name is Dr. Melanie Daly. I hold my doctorate in nutritional medicine, along with some specialties in metabolic health, genomics, and oncology nutrition. I am an AADP certified functional diagnostic nutrition, master personal trainer, marathon triathlon coach, and also a professional natural bodybuilder. I've been a researcher, educator, and coach in the nutrition and fitness industry for almost 30 years. I am 56 years old, and yes, I am also menopausal. So, these might be some questions you have if you are perimenopausal or anywhere really in your menopause journey. Today, we're going to address these questions and share 4 core strategies for mastering menopause and managing weight loss in this season. So, I think we should get started. Menopause is a natural and normal biological change that has been deeply misunderstood for centuries. And honestly, even today can be a rather taboo subject. Now, as far back as Hippocrates, menopause was identified as a syndrome, a weakening of a woman's power, so that she's pretty much no longer of any good use to society. And even as recently as the 20th century, menopause has been identified as a neuroses and a hysteria, and even as a disease called living decay that is something that should be treated, and because it's a time when women lose their youth and sex appeal. Now, even today, while we have a better understanding of menopause from a medical perspective, menopause is still viewed as a dividing line of sorts, right? Between being sexual, active, and powerful young women who suddenly turn old and weak, and we no longer contribute anything good to society. Yeah. Now, let's get real. The life expectancy of women right now is 81 years, and the average age to reach menopause is 51. This means nearly 40% of your life is likely to occur after menopause. Factor in those 5 to 7 perimenopausal years when your hormones start to go haywire, and you could easily be living half, if not more, of your life on some part of your menopause journey. Now, the messaging around aging and menopause is disheartening, and it has been for centuries. No wonder we try to fight it. And women in the menopausal season actually kind of seem to disappear, don't they? We no longer even see them represented in popular entertainment or media. And when there is conversation about menopause, it's usually in a negative context. The weight gain, the hot flashes, the fatigue, the brain fog, the poor libido, then the development of that dumpy meno belly. You know what I'm talking about. So we have literally been convinced that as women, we have to fight aging, slow it down, cover it up, even try to cheat the process. We have been told that menopause causes our hormones to become unbalanced, and that this imbalance is the reason for our crazy moods and expanding waistlines. But I'm telling you today, it is time to change the dialogue. Time to not only better understand what's occurring in the female physiology during menopause, but also how to work with it and support those changes rather than trying to fight it or even ignore it. Because the reality is, menopause happens. It will not disappear. It cannot be skipped or deleted from your lifespan. If you are experiencing perimenopausal symptoms now or are already deep into the menopausal season of life, I know you are experiencing numerous changes in your physiology. Weight gain, shifts in body fat distribution, erratic sleep and mood swings, and more. In short, your entire being is shifting, and it's uncomfortable and confusing and beyond frustrating. Now, in order to manage and ultimately optimize your menopausal physiology for the second half of life, you first need to understand what and why is actually happening at this stage. Because once you can understand it, then you can manage it. So, as your body shifts into the menopausal season, your natural production of select hormones declines. Okay, this is causing a change in the ratio of hormones. That change in ratio is frequently what's called the imbalance of hormones, but it's really just a shift in the ratio of the hormones that your body produces. The word imbalanced implies there's a problem, and that's a negative thing. But on the contrary, this is the natural design of the female physiology. It is not a problem. It is just a change. Once you understand the hormonal shifts that are happening, you can create an appropriate plan to address your body's needs at this point. Because your body is a very complex metabolic system. It's an interconnected organism where nothing works in isolation. As our hormones shift and change, your entire body is experiencing those shifts metabolically throughout the entire system. The first half of life, your body is designed for reproduction. So those hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, even cortisol, they work in a very beautiful, harmonious way to optimize the role for reproduction. Now, I want you to think about how you have lived in your body for the last 40 years, 40 plus. From the womb to the time you were born, your childhood experiences, changes that came through adolescence, then whether or not you were on birth control, if and how you have birthed children personally, if you have nursed those children. It is likely that these first 40 years have also included years of things like yo-yo dieting and blood sugar dysregulation, poor sleep, high stress, chemical crap in our food, our water, air, and environment, lack of movement, or possibly even too much movement, excessive movement, definitely exposure to toxins, emotional trauma. The list goes on and on. But the reason I'm sharing that with you is because I want you to understand that your body has already been through a lot in the past several decades. And by the time that same body reaches the menopausal season, it is already heavily burdened, dysregulated, and definitely in an overstressed state. So here we go, moving into menopause as a very imbalanced, overworked, and overburdened metabolic system. Now, I'm going to get back to that thought in a minute, but let's talk about what's going on in your body now. In the second half of life, your production of estrogen and progesterone drops. This decrease changes the body's relationship with cortisol, which is another hormone, as well as increases your body's insulin resistance. Now, due to the decline of estrogen, your natural ratio of estrogen to testosterone is also affected, shifting what was previously dominant is estrogen to now becoming a slightly more dominant testosterone. And several physiological changes occur when your body is going through these hormonal shifts. Now, while your previously higher estrogen levels distributed your weight around your legs and your hips, your now higher levels of testosterone encourages fat distribution around your midsection. It's called truncal obesity. Now, this explains that dreaded menobelly, right? The stomach pooch that you've seemed to develop overnight. I know what you're talking about. And there's more. Estrogen, especially estradiol, naturally increases insulin sensitivity. So when you lose your estrogen in the menopausal phase, you become more insulin resistant. This means your body has to pump out more insulin. Your blood sugar levels roller coaster, and this ultimately triggers more fat storage. Along with that, like there's more, there's also an accompanying decline of DHEA, which is produced in your adrenal glands and has a direct relationship to testosterone and estrogen production. Now, this drop in DHEA also makes your body more sensitive to glucose, which is the blood sugar again, and it creates a body more sensitive to glucose, being one that is more prone to storing belly fat. Those two things go hand in hand. But what I want you to understand and try to embrace here with me is that what is happening is normal. It's called age-related metabolic change. Every woman goes through this. This is how our bodies are designed. This is a time when we should be paying more attention to our overall metabolic health. It's actually a turning point in our bodies. It's an opportunity to maximize our health at this stage rather than try to ignore it or fight it. Now, unfortunately, we as women tend to respond to these physiological changes with a variety of strategies, which include erratic food intake, trying to skip meals even, eating salads all the time, lowering our calories, adding in more cardio, even popping random supplements or working out more intensely, all trying to combat these changes in our bodies. Yeah, you are definitely not alone. There are more than 1 billion women around the world this year who are deep within the menopausal season right alongside you. And remember how I said the first 40 plus years left your body dysregulated and overstressed? Well, Those responses of all of the things we try to do are only adding to the burden and the stress occurring in your body during these shifting hormonal metabolic times. They are not helping to reduce it. They are not helping to hold your body in the place of premenopause. So I know what you're thinking right now. What do I do about this changing body? Yeah. So, can you even be fit and fabulous even though you're menopausal? Well, of course you can. Of course you can. It's about understanding it, making adjustments, and supporting it. So, here's what I want you to understand. We have to understand the changes that your body is going through, then make adjustments that align to support those changes, and ultimately that shifting ecology that's happening in your body, we can't demonize it anymore. We have to support it. Find ways to change behaviors, actions, habits to support this newly refreshing, changing body. Once you have a better grasp of what is actually happening metabolically through menopause, then you just make these small adjustments to work with your metabolic and hormone shifts rather than against them. Because you know what? You are in control. Mastering menopause and successfully managing your weight is absolutely possible, doable, and sustainable. I do want to make one thing clear, however. You have to be willing to unlearn some things and adjust some of those habits, beliefs, and behaviors that have structured your life for the past 40 years. What worked for you then will not work for you now because your body is in a completely different metabolic state. In fact, what you used to do for weight loss, that list of crazy strategies that I just mentioned a minute ago, those same actions and strategies will likely push you further in the wrong direction. You will see more weight gain and belly fat and energy and fatigue issues. Some of you might have even noticed that already because you've been trying to do all of the things to try to get rid of or eliminate or ignore the changes that are happening in your body. And while there are going to be individual nuances for each and every one of you that ultimately requires a thoughtful and strategic approach tailored to your unique needs, there are some specific changes you can implement right now that will work in alignment with your shifting hormones and reduce the excess fat and help you to sail into the second half of life feeling leaner, happier, and empowered. And it is not complicated. In fact, we tend to think everything should be complicated in order to work the magic, but that is really not the case. In fact, mastering menopause is actually pretty simple. It can be distilled into 4 simple areas of focus: how you eat, how you sleep, how you move, and how you play. Like the 4 legs of a chair, you really need all 4 to sit comfortably. If you remove one of the legs, you will probably still be able to balance, but it will be more challenging. If you remove more than 1 or 2, then you're in trouble. So just like with your chair, if you only make changes to 1 or 2 areas, it is likely you will never find your balance or truly master menopause with comfort and convenience and confidence. These 4 areas are where you can make small changes and reap some big rewards by reducing weight gain, optimizing your health, and yes, feel fit and fabulous. Now, with our limited time today, I am going to focus on just the first one: how to eat. and what changes you can make to help your body adapt to your changing physiology and help you to lose that fatty menobelly. Now, if you're interested in dialing in further to the other 3 areas, I encourage you to sign up for my Mastering Menopause email series. There will be a link at the end of this presentation where you can sign up for that. So, how you eat. The food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. This is the truth. Everything that you eat affects your entire system, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's recap. Remember that your estrogen levels are declining, which means that you become more insulin resistant. This is also known as your blood sugar response. It means your body essentially doesn't process your insulin as efficiently now as it did when you were pre-menopausal. And estrogen and progesterone, those declining levels, are playing a big role in how our cells use insulin. When the levels drop, it causes our cells to not respond as well as they used to the production of insulin. So if you're, for example, experiencing unexplainable weight gain despite making no real nutrition changes, it is likely because you have become insulin resistant. Now, insulin resistance is also correlated with other common menopause symptoms that we've mentioned already, such as fatigue or brain fog, mood swings, insomnia, and headaches. It plays a big role. Now, when it comes to how you eat, this is what you have to keep in mind. This insulin response and insulin resistance that has been built up now, your body incorporates, utilizes your foods differently, less efficiently than it did before. The reason that's important is because something like foods like starchy carbohydrates, your grains, your breads, even processed foods, as well as sugars, causes continual increases in insulin response. Okay, that's that blood sugar spike, which is detrimental both from the blood sugar stability point and the metabolism standpoint. Okay. So, one of the easiest things that you can do to help your body in this time when it is not as responsive or sensitive to insulin, you have a lowered efficiency rate with your insulin response. The best way to address that are some of these bullet points. First, radically remove or reduce your intake of starchy carbohydrates, those grains, breads, and definitely ultra processed foods. All of them, those starchy foods cause insulin spikes, encourages more insulin production, which remember, your body is not tolerating well already. Second, fill your plate with what I like to consider high value foods. These are whole foods only. And by whole foods, I mean as close to their natural state as possible. Build your meals around plenty of protein, add in a variety of vegetables, have a little bit of fruit, and enjoy small amounts of healthy fats. Now, processed foods do not provide really any critical nutritional quality at all and are really what I consider low value foods. They're empty calories that really only serve to maybe fill your belly temporarily, but definitely increase your insulin resistance and fills your body with toxic waste in the form of additives, preservatives, and fillers, as well as excessive sugars and toxic fats and oils. So limit or remove processed foods. And I define processed foods as anything that comes in a package, a bag, a box, or even that darn drive-through window. Those are all processed foods that your body does not handle or tolerate well at all. Also, another couple key points. Stop grazing. I know you are. Be intentional with your eating times. I want you to eat 2 to 3 complete meals every day. And by complete, I mean that protein, vegetables, fruit, healthy fats. That is your complete meal. You should have a minimum of 2 to 3 hours between your meals to help your blood sugar stabilize and reduce any more radical insulin spiking. Okay, stop the snacking. No more bites, licks, and tastes. Those things are causing those blood sugar levels, those insulin spikes to occur throughout the day. That is not serving you. Your body can't tolerate it. So, no more BLTs. That's what I call those bites, licks, and tastes. And also, another tip, finish your last meal of the day 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. This allows adequate digestion and it also primes your body better for quality sleep, both of which are factoring in as issues right now in this menopausal state. And finally, drink water. A minimum of 80 ounces a day. Not soda, not even diet soda, not coffee, not Starbucks, no alcohol, clean, fresh water. Your daily goal is a minimum of 80 ounces. You should actually be drinking more than that, especially if you are active or sweat regularly. You want to boost that water up. You could also add in a serving of no sugar electrolytes that helps to provide some mineral support in your water. Can also change up the flavor a little bit, but drink more water, ladies. I know you're not, and it's such a simple thing that your body really, really requires. Now, those were a few tips, right? My how to eat tips. And you might be thinking that this seems too simple, but I want you to take an honest look at how you're actually eating today. I encourage you to spend a couple of days really observing and tracking what you put into your mouth. Call it a reality check. How often are you grabbing high carb snacks or processed foods? Are you drinking your sugar and low value calories? Are you skipping meals and then turning around and binging, but telling yourself it's just a snack or it's just a treat? I get it. I understand where you are right now. I have been there. I am with you in this menopausal season, and I know your frustrations because they were also mine. But now that you have a better understanding of the changes your body is going through, you now know what you can do to support the process. Now, but by attending this summit, each of you will also receive my Get Out of the Block Box and Into Clean Eating Handbook, where I do break this down even further, this how to eat pillar of addressing the menopausal season. So as a recap, how you ate, slept, moved, and played in the first 40 years of your life will not serve you now that your entire metabolic system, your body, is changing. Achieving fitness and optimal health and well-being at this stage will require a different and more intentional approach to the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you move, the way you manage stress. Half of your life is going to be in this menopausal state. It is a natural and normal physiological process. We cannot ignore it. We cannot hack it. We cannot try to prevent it. It's a time to look forward, not back. You do not need to try to stay young or recapture anything that you might have lost. This transition is an opportunity to step up and control your own personal life narrative. A few changes in your behaviors, habits, actions to support your body through these changes rather than try to fight it. It just requires a different approach to how you eat, sleep, move, and play. Thank you so much for attending this session today. Remember, my Mastering Menopause email series is a free email resource that's available to you, and it does dig deeper into each of those 4 core pillar areas as it relates to your body during this menopausal season, and includes action items and some tracking templates to help support you in making these changes. My contact information is here. If you'd like to continue learning, I would love to be a part of that with you. Cheers to you, to making this second half of your life the truly best half. Ciao.